we continue our study in the book of Esther, I want to take several days and talk to you about the seeds of loyalty and integrity. To this very day, every year in Israel, there is a feast of Purim that is celebrated, and people dress up in funny costumes and they celebrate. And it all began here in the book of Esther. Purim deals with lots that have been cast, and it's about the salvation of the Jewish race. And the whole story of this salvation of the Jewish race begins with a seed of loyalty and a seed of integrity. In Esther chapter 2, beginning with verse 21, one day as Mordecai was on duty at the king's gate. And notice the word on duty. King's gate. This is where decisions were made for the king. This is where things were brought for the king. The gate is a place of decision in the Old Testament. Two of the king's units, Bigthana and Teresh, who were guards at the door of the king's private quarters, so they had access. They guarded. He came by them every day and left in front of them every day. They guarded the doors to the king's private quarters. They became angry at King Xerxes and plotted to assassinate him. Now, there's always people that are close to leadership that want to get angry. And it doesn't mean that they're right. It just means that they had an attitude issue. But when Mordecai heard about the plot and gave the information to Queen Esther, she then told the king about it and gave Mordecai credit for the report. When an investigation was made and Mordecai's story was found to be true, the two men were impaled on a sharpened pole. This was all recorded in the book of the history of King Xerxes' reign. Now, every leader must recognize that things that you sow in life don't just affect you. They affect all the people that are under your leadership. Mordecai was the leader among the Jewish people. Esther, though the king didn't know she was a Jew, she was also a leader among the Jewish people. And as leaders among the Jewish people, decisions they made and seeds they sowed affected the people who followed their leadership. Now, I want you to notice, first we start with Mordecai. He was on duty. He was a man that recognized responsibility. He was a man that recognized, I'm not just a private individual, I'm on duty. I have responsibilities. There comes a point that every leader has to recognize, I'm not just a church member anymore, I'm a leader and I have responsibilities. There comes a time that every young pastor has to recognize, I'm not just a young person in the church anymore, I'm a leader. I have responsibilities. I'm on duty. That you don't just live and make decisions and sow seeds as an individual. Now you're on duty. And these are leadership seeds that you are sowing. So here he is on duty, and Mordecai hears these two guys that had gotten a really bad attitude, and they were determined to kill King Xerxes. So what does he do? Does he say, you know what? I'm a foreigner in this land. I'm a leader among the Jewish people, but I'm a foreigner in this land. I'm not going to get myself involved. No. Does he sit back and think, Queen Esther has to walk by these guys all the time. I don't want to get involved. These guys might take it out on my niece. No. He recognized the right thing to do was to be a whistleblower. The right thing to do was to report this, that somebody's planning to kill the king, that somebody's planning to do something wrong. So he reports it. He reports it the only place he knew to report it, which would be to Queen Esther. He's concerned about her safety also. Now then Queen Esther takes the report and takes it to the king. Now, you could say, well, Pastor Sumrall, that's not fair. Well, there was an investigation made. The scripture says an investigation was made. Reporting things that you see as a leader does not mean you're convicting somebody. It doesn't mean that you're judging somebody. It doesn't mean that you're doing something bad or wrong. It means that you are providing higher level leadership, information that they need so that a proper investigation can be done. And if it's just something that you misheard, well, then fine. That will all come out in the investigation. But if it's true, then forgive me. It's not your fault that they got impaled on the pole. It's their fault because they made the decisions. So don't let people put guilt on you because you reported something that was wrong. But I want you to also notice we have a seed of loyalty sown by Mordecai, and then we have a seed of integrity sown by Queen Esther. When she goes before the king, the scripture says she gave Mordecai the credit. Verse 22, and gave Mordecai credit for the report. Now later on, and we'll unfold this over the next few days, later on as this seed grew up and flourished and produced a harvest, if she had not given Mordecai credit, he would have died. If she had not given Mordecai credit, the Jewish race would have still been assassinated and wiped out throughout the whole kingdom. So it took not only a seed of loyalty, it took a seed of loyalty combined with a seed of integrity to save the nation of Jews. And the Feast of Purim is celebrated to this day. Now we'll pick up some more on this tomorrow, but it's a fascinating study.